Today we will start our lesson number 4, subject science for the standard 7th. Our lesson name is nutrition in living organism. We have seen in the first video nutrition definition and what are the living organisms. Now we are going to start our today page number 28. You have to open your textbook when you are seeing the video. Now see, plants produce carbohydrates by the process of photosynthesis. Carbohydrates are made from the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Proteins are made from the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and the nitrogen. You know 78% nitrogen is present in the atmosphere. But nitrogen from the atmosphere and from the earth crust is not directly available to the plant. They have to take it from the different process. Now we have to study what it is there. That is the biological fixation of nitrogen. Before study that, we have to solve one question. How do plants obtain the nitrogen necessary for the synthesis of proteins? Means plants produce the proteins and for that they need the nitrogen. And how they obtain it from the air it is there? Now see answer. Air contains gaseous nitrogen. However, plants cannot utilize gaseous nitrogen. It needs to be fixed, that is converted into compounds. Fixation of nitrogen occurs by biological and atmospheric method. Plants can get nitrogen to the synthesis protein by two methods. They modified some parts of their body, means such as apex of the leaf, and change themselves into to become insectivorous plants. Or second one, leguminous plants like peanuts, pea plant, etc. have a rhizobium bacteria in their roots nodules, which also provide them a nitrogen. Now next point, that is the biological fixation of nitrogen. Now there are different types of microorganisms can be bring out the biological nitrogen fixation. How it is? Root nodules of a leguminous plants contain the rhizobium microorganism. They are the microorganism. These microorganisms absorb the atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into the nitrates. And second one, in the leguminous family, means now what is meant by the leguminous plants? See here, leguminous is an adjective used to describe the plants in the legume family, which includes the plants that produce some beans, beans, peas and lentils. The word legume must be completely referred to the eatable seeds pods, means like a beans and peas, I told you that, and other things that they bear as a fruits. Leguminous plants are also well known for being able to utilize atmospheric nitrogen. In crop rotation, farmers alternate the non-leguminous with the leguminous plants. For example, green peas means watana, soya bean, mung beans, and tamarind, groundnut, fenugreek. These are the alternative, means leguminous plants. Microorganisms like azotobacters are present in the soil. They also convert the atmospheric nitrogen into the nitrates. Now what is meant by the azotobacters? See the more information about them. Azotobacter improves seed germination and has a beneficiary response on a crop growth rate. It helps to increase the nutrients availability and to restore soil fertility for a better crop response. Now nitrates are there. Nitrates are natural chemicals that are found in the soil, air and water. For example, nitrates are found in banana, broccoli, cabbage, cucumber, potato, then pumpkin, strawberries. They also contain the nitrates. Do you know atmospheric fixation of nitrogen? Lightning, that is the thunderbolt, occurs in a rainy season. This causes atmospheric nitrogen and oxygen to react with each other to form nitric oxide. NO, which is again oxidized to form a nitrogen dioxide, NO2. The nitrogen dioxide dissolves in a rainwater and is converted into nitric acid, that is HNO3, which gets added to the soil along with the rainwater. Plants use this nitrogen for their growth. Now our next point, that is the symbiotic nutrition. Now symbiotic nutrition means depend on each other. In some cases, two or more than two different types of plants live together to fulfill their needs of nutrition, protection, support, etc. with each other's help. This type of nutrition is called the symbiotic nutrition. Now see the examples. For example, some algae grow around the roots of some other plants. These plants supply nutrients to the algae and it returns, means algae supply minerals and water to the plants. Now second example, some algae and fungi live together. The fungi produce water. The fungi. Now see the second example. Some fungi and algae live together. The fungi provides water, minerals as well as shelter to the algae. In return, the algae provide food to the fungi. Lichen is an example of symbiosis between the algae and fungi. Now third example, that is the leguminous plants provide shelter and nourishment for the rhizobium bacteria, and it turns, means rhizobium bacteria fix the atmospheric nitrogen to the plant. By these three examples you can understand the symbiotic nutrition means depend on each other. Now we move towards the page number 29, and first is heterotrophic plants. Heterotrophic plants do not contain chlorophyll. How do the As you know, plants produce their own food with the help of sunlight. Chlorophyll is there in the leaves, so they prepare their own food. But in the how do the heterotrophic plants live? From where do they get the food? Have you seen a yellow wire like a leafless climber plant growing on the big trees? What is its name? It is dodder. The plants that grow on a body of other plants to obtain the food are called the parasitic plants. For example, Rhodanthus, Cuscuta, etc. Due to the absence of chlorophyll, the Cuscuta is completely dependent on the host plant, means other plant. Hence, it is said to be completely parasitic plant. You can see in the picture. You must have also noticed the Loranthus that grows on the trees. It is coming on the other trees and take the nutrition from that tree. Next is use your brain power. Which part of the Loranthus plant carries out the photosynthesis? Answer. In the Loranthus plant, photosynthesis is carried out by the green leaves. Second, from where do they obtain the minerals and water? Answer. In the Loranthus root system is absent. Thus, it attacks the aerial part of the host tree by developing the roots like a structure that is called hostralia. These absorb water and minerals directly from the vascular system of the host plant. Third one, why is Loranthus known as a particularly parasitic plant? Loranthus is known as a partially parasitic plant because it is dependent on the host plant just for the water and the minerals. However, it can make its own food by the process of photosynthesis. Now, next point, that is the insectivorous plants. We have seen how some plants feed upon insects to obtain the nutrients. These insectivorous plants generally grow in the soil or water deficient in nitrogen compounds. The plant's body of the Drosera The plant body of the Drosera brumani was a flower-like appearance. It grows close to the ground. Its leaves are attractively pink and red in color, with hairs at the margin. Droplets of a sticky substance found at the tips of the hairs attract the insects. The scientist Johnny Burman identified this plant in Sri Lanka in 1737. Hence the plant name after him. You can see in the picture very attractive plant is there, and it is insectivorous plant. Means when insect attract towards this flower, they can nibble them, means they can eat this plant and they take the nitrogen from that plant. Means this is the insectivorous plant. Next one, use your brain power. Why does the pitcher plant feed on this insect even though it produces food by the photosynthesis? Now see the pitcher plant. You have seen the pitcher plant. In that pitcher plant, now see the answer. Pitcher plants contain the chlorophyll, thus they can prepare their own food by the photosynthesis. Pitcher plants grow in a soil deficient in the nitrogen compound. Thus, to fulfill its nitrogen requirement, it traps the insects and utilizes their proteins. Hence, the pitcher plants feed on the insect even though it is produced food by the photosynthesis. Next point, that is the saprophytic plants. Plants which obtain the food from the dead and decaying bodies of other organisms are called the saprophytic plants. Various types of fungi like mushroom and yeast are saprophytes. Fungi secrete digestive enzymes on the dead remains to digest or break down the carbon compounds they contain. The resulting solution is absorbed to obtain the nutrients. Now today we have seen the biological fixation of nitrogen, symbiotic nutrition, heterotrophic plants and the insectivorous plants, and last point, that is the saprophytic plants. Okay student, thank you for watching the video. Have a nice day.